Why do you think that you have the right to say that my voice is your property? Hey friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Carrie Fable, but I also go by Cypress online. I am a voice actress and an entertainer. So if you are at all entertained by this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. So first, I can't even style fake bangs. I don't know what it is today. It's just they are not happening, but whatever, we're just gonna continue. So I know that I had said before that I am not posting in the month of May, but I just saw this come across my desk today in the voiceover industry, and I just wanted to kind of bring it up and, help spread the news and start that discussion. So as you know, I've been talking a lot about AI voiceover, and I said that unless something really big was happening, I was not going to bring it up on this channel again because I am plumb tired of talking about it. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about it, but I think this is really poignant. Sorry, I thought I said that weird, and wow, my brain is fried. I have had quite the day. Do not get me started on that. If you do want some personal TED Talks or whatever about my life, I could certainly share those stories, but I'm trying to maintain some modicum of professionability. Is that a word? I don't know. As I said, I have had a day. So what I'm going to do, I apologize in advance if this is the first video you've ever seen of me. This is probably going to be one of the laziest editing jobs I have ever done, and so therefore I apologize. I am taking the Peter Mon route of only editing what is absolutely necessary, and so yeah, I'm sorry. I just I've got time crunches, but I wanted to talk about this and I wanted to post this. So I am going, ooh, it's so foggy in here. All right. Oh man, you can tell it feels like a sauna in here. I do not know why, but I am so hot today. Anyway, whatever. I am going to be reading, 2 articles that I find interesting, and I just kind of want to tell my, thoughts on it, but I can't really do that unless you read the article. So instead of telling you to go read this article and then I can tell you what I think about it, I'm just going to read the article to you, right? It's kind of what I do. So I'm going to post this up so you can see it, and I'm just going to screen grab this entire thing. So for the full credentials, this was written by Joel St. Peters, published 2 days ago, my apologies, on CBR.com. Report: Hollywood studios are trying to claim the rights to actors' voices. Ahead of new contract negotiations, the actors' union SAG-AFTRA reveals that some studios have attempted to claim ownership over performers' voices. A new report suggests some of Hollywood's major studios are taking a page from the playbook of The Little Mermaid's Sea Witch by seeking ownership of actors' voices. Per the New York Times, the actors' union, known as SAG-AFTRA, claims that its members have reported contracts which would give studios the right to use the signatory's voice to craft new performances in the future. The New York Times highlights a Netflix contract that would allow the company to simulate an actor's voice by all technologies and processes now known or hereafter developed throughout the universe and in perpetuity. The advancement of artificial intelligence software has made it possible for studios to simulate actors' voices with increasing accuracy. In partnership with Lucasfilm, a Ukrainian company called Respeecher famously used archival recordings and an AI program to recreate James Earl Jones's Darth Vader voice, which Jones has aged out of, for Disney Plus's Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Respeecher also used this technique to recreate the voice of a young Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, in The Book of Boba Fett. In September 2022, it was reported that Jones had signed his voice rights over to Lucasfilm and Respeecher so that the companies could continue to use his signature baritone in future Star Wars projects, including those produced after the actor's passing. The actors' union may face a strike. The ownership of rights of performers' voices will likely be a topic in SAG-AFTRA's upcoming negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, AMPTP, on June 7, 2023, over the terms of a new contract. if the terms of the new agreement are not settled by June 30th, SAG-AFTRA may move to strike, following in the footsteps of the Writers Guild of America, WGA, which has been on strike since May 2nd after negotiations with AMPTP fell through. One of the issues facing WGA also involves the idea of AI software reducing the number of jobs available to its members. The WGA's ongoing strike is already having a significant impact on the film and television industries. One of the projects affected by the strike is Marvel Studios' Blade movie, whose stalled writers have caused Marvel to delay production for the second time. The studio delayed the film for the first time in September 2022 after the sudden departure of director Bassam Tariq. Blade was expected to enter production under the direction of Yann Demange next month, following a series of rewrites by True Detective's Nick Pizzolatto. On the television side, projects impacted by the WGA strike include Stranger Things, Yellow Jackets, Cobra Kai, and many others. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I wanted to read this other article. To be honest, I actually have not read it. I found this article, I'm just going to take this off. I found this article when I was looking for the other article that I just read to you guys. See, now look, I have like a 5 head. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to read this other one to you as well. All right, hot Georgia summer has already come, y'all. Oh my goodness, I'm verklempt. All right. This one is by Megan Peters on Comicbook.com, published May 7th, 2023. Netflix contract sparks ire over voice acting amid WGA strike AI debate. Hollywood is in trouble. If you haven't heard yet, the entire film industry in the U.S. is on shaky legs right now. Following concerning talks of AI in entertainment, pressure in Hollywood erupted last week as the Writers Guild of America went on strike. Everything from film to television and beyond is now in flux as major studios across the U.S. have yet to find common ground with WGA executives. And now, Netflix has sparked anger online as one of its controversial contracts has surfaced. The update comes from the New York Times, as the publication dove deep into the ongoing war in Hollywood. Some of the biggest studios in America have resisted demands from the WGA regarding fair pay in the streaming era. But issues have come down with advancing tech. To be specific, AI issues were brought up in this year's WGA negotiations, and the NYT says a contract by Netflix shows how real the threat of tech can be for voice actors. According to the WGA, the group is adamant that no literary material produced by members can be touched by chatbots, like ChatGPT or other AI tools. The group is also demanding studios not use AI for generating source material that would then be adapted into scripts and the like. In this NYT article, a representative from the SAG-AFTRA union that represents actors in Hollywood said AI is going beyond simple source material. Some members have flagged contracts that include clauses that give studios the right to use their voices to generate new performances. So what does this look like in ink? The NYT shared a clause from a recent Netflix contract that gives the studio free use of a simulation of a talent's voice by all technologies and processes now known or hereafter developed through the universe and in perpetuity. Duncan Crabtree Ireland, the executive director of SAG-AFTRA, says these clauses could snowball into obsolescence for actors just starting their careers. As you can imagine, these clauses are damning to whoever signs them, regardless of their fame. This goes double for most voice actors who stay in animation and anime for work. There is a greater safety net for actors like Chris Pratt voicing Mario in animation versus lesser-known actors in the public eye. As technology advances, tools like AI will shift the world in wonderful ways, but some boundaries must be set in place for creatives. And now that this Netflix contract has surfaced, public opinion is swirling amidst the ongoing WGA strike. What do you make of this latest WGA strike update? Do you believe voice acting is at risk because of AI? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section, or hit me up on Twitter at MeganPetersCB. So if you want to respond to her directly, I wanted to keep that in there because, again, I am reading her stuff, and I am all about giving creators credit for their work. So you might be asking, why did you not read the New York Times article? Because it's behind a paywall, or at least when I clicked on it, it said subscribe to be able to read the article, and I ain't about that life. So, whatever. You could call me a hypocrite for not supporting them. I'm sure they're doing fine. So really, the issue has come to a head, and to just simplify it, it really is trying to push out other creatives out of their work. The only reason you would use an AI program is if, one, you are not skilled in such a specific skill set, so you need assistance, and two, if you want to save money, okay? So think about an indie artist who has a story they really want to share, but they, are still in college, and so they have a budget of 30 cents for ramen, right? Maybe they can scrounge together $7.99 a month to get one of these, Bespeecher or whatever, to get a synthetic AI voice to read their story and help it come to life. And fine, that's a valid whatever. You can't afford a professional voiceover, so use a synthetic voice. That's understandable. Or perhaps you are a big businessman and your marketing department is one person, but you want to get out a weekly blog about your services and you just don't have time to sit down and write it and proofread it. So you use a chat, or a writer AI, and you feed it the information and it spits out newly because it'll switch it up and give you different things, different ways to say the same thing basically over and over so it's not plagiarized. And so you can post that on your business because that's not really funneling any work and, paid work. It's more just exposing your business and your services to a wide group of people. So it's secondary to what it's used for, right? In those scope of things, I can maybe, support it. Okay. It's really, really cool to be able to just feed it a description and get this beautiful picture that you can share in a chat room of what you think this fairy in that, novel really would look like because you wrote in the description and the AI put together an ideal picture of that fairy, right? These are examples that I don't think hurts others because in these examples, it is only replacing the actual creator, the person, the user's skill set, right? If they didn't use that to make that fairy, they would have to draw a hand and it'll look like a 5-year-old did it. So they're not going to hire a professional, artist or even go on Fiverr or anything to get this picture drawn. They just want to see what it looks like. So they're going to use this AI feature to be fun, right? Going around, it was like Lensa or something like that. Everyone who's using pictures to be like, oh, what do I look like as an anime character? Yeah, they don't really want to pay $200 for a profile picture looking like an anime character. It's just kind of like BuzzFeed, what kind of bread are you? I don't really care what kind of bread I am, but if I have 5 extra minutes, sitting in a doctor's office, I'll fill that out and realize I'm, pita bread or something. I don't know. I didn't actually take that, but I hear that one's always like the joke when people talk about BuzzFeed. So I'm sorry. I'm really hyped because I've had a day, and so I'm either this hyped or I'm passed out in my bed. So we're gonna go with this, Carrie. But that is a difference, right? If they're, the company is not going to hire a copywriter to write that blog for them. They would have to write it themselves, and it's going to sound really just flaccid and corporate speech because they're just going to copy and paste their about section and leave it be, or not even post anything at all, right? As a marketing manager, I have left, and I keep tabs on my other, companies that I've worked with or whatever, and they just, the projects I was responsible for, they didn't get picked up from other, people who have taken my place since then. So, some things just die if you don't have that skill set or that talent responsible for it, right? So that's where that is. And I think the scope in terms of science and the technology behind it, I don't think is inherently bad, right? I love the concept of someone who has lost their voice, either through, a tracheotomy, other kind of like a cancer or something. Even if, and it gets a little bit touchy as, in terms of mental health, like, is this good for you? But if a loved one passed away and you can collect all these voicemails and, home videos and stuff and recreate their voice to, give your loved one a poem or like that, if people who need actual voice assistance, if they can copy pre-recorded, of their voice, or especially if you're losing your voice, you record 3 hours of yourself going, the apple, dog, that kind of thing. And it puts together your voice. So when you use that, little speaker box or, the computer, because I know things are updated now these days, and it can sound like you, that, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how powerful that would be. You're bringing back their voice, right? Because like that, think about Stephen Hawking. Did his voice really sound like that? I don't think so, I mean, I don't know one way or the other. And as I said, this is a really, lazy editing job. So I'm not going to look that up right now. But, in terms of those uses, yes. Okay. I love that idea. I love that for them, right? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about big corporate companies who want to cut out the middleman talent. You're telling me you want to buy my voice in perpetuity, which means forever, right? You even heard, in known technologies or here within, or here the pawn or rare pawn or whatever it was, right? So in 10 years, they can get the inflection right. So they can sound exactly like a human. They can even maybe, a personality test, and they could say, oh, well, Carrie would have said it this way, even if, Tara Strong would have said it this way, and they can really make it sound like 100% a person, right? They can use it in projects that precede this one. Do you understand what that means? They are using you for work later on that they are going to make money on, and you signed the agreement, which means you don't get a cent of it. So, example, Darth Vader, right? So James Earl Jones, he signed that and he agreed to that. And that was, last year before AI really was, it was getting there, but it wasn't so much in the news for, voice AI and stuff. And so he understood that Darth Vader needs to continue. I believe, I have not seen his contract, but I am willing to bet that he puts something in place where they pay him for his likeness for that, right? As you recall, actually, I have a few Disney examples. So if you watched my previous videos of Name That Voice, right? We talked about Snow White's actress, Coletti. Andrea Coletti, was that her name? I can't remember. I do apologize. But she signed because Walt Disney wanted her voice to be Snow White. That ruined her career. She was blacklisted from any other animated stuff. When I made that Name That Voice, I kept it nice and positive because that's where I am. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I was doing research and when I looked over what everyone else had researched, because again, I had Cole Productions was helping me write that, it was very negative. Her career was ruined. Luckily, she did get into opera, I think. But she left the entertainment industry for a while because like that, she was blackballed or blacklisted or whatever it's called. She could not get work as a voice actor anymore because no, you are Snow White. That ruins a person. How can you not, or ruins their career anyway? How can you argue against that, right? And then the other point, one second, I had one. I just used this today. It was a little bit different, but it's a great illustration. So if you remember a while ago, there was a live action movie called Enchanted. Amy Adams was Giselle, who was an animated, you're right? And she fell through a sewer system and came into the real world and met her, actual Prince Charming. And but her Prince Charming back from the cartoon world fell in love with her, the real world guy's fiance. Anyways, it's really convoluted if you say that. But anyway, Disney does not sell Giselle merchandise, or at least they hadn't when it first came out, because they would have had to pay royalties to Amy Adams for her likeness. That's why you didn't see any merchandise. And I'm surprised they came out with a sequel. I think now they might have signed something with her so that maybe she, maybe they agreed, so they can have merchandise. But that's why she's not in the Disney Princess lineup. That's why, you can't find any real, advertising merchandise, of her, or even like Pip or whatever, Pipsqueak. What was her little I was gonna say chinchilla. He was a chipmunk, right? He might have been a squirrel. I think he was a chipmunk. Anyway, there was no merchandise because they didn't want to pay for Amy Adams' likeness, right? That right there highlights it. Okay, that's a visual. Why can't we do that with audio? Why is suddenly my voice your property? Or why do you think that you have the right to say that my voice is your property? That's what it comes down to. And again, I barely am making it as a voice actress, right? I am not, Chris Pratt, but it doesn't matter if you are, me or like A-lister, Jim Cummings, right? What are they going to do to him? And I know it's not just, it's not Disney. Actually, it was Netflix that was doing this, but he's the voice of pretty much everyone. Really everyone knows him for like being Winnie the Pooh. Well, if they can, say, oh, well, in perpetuity and, going forward, we can use your voice for this. Bye. We don't need you. Oh, okay. So my livelihood is gone now. Think about The Simpsons. If they have, by now, they have all of the cast of Simpsons voice enough to make these synthetic things. Well, now they don't need the cast. Well, they're each making $1 million an episode, something ridiculous. I remember reading about it years ago, which good on them. I mean, kudos, but damn, right? That's some money. But now they can cut them out. They don't need them anymore if they were to sign this contract. So you can see, who is this contract benefiting? It's benefiting the companies who are greedy and just want this. It's not helping the individual artist and the art form in general. Taking out the humanity, how is that going to make the art stronger? It's ridiculous that this is even a thing. So anyway, I just wanted to voice my opinion, and I'm tired of being all PC about it. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And we will see come June 30th. But everyone is talking about a strike and, another strike, because again, the WGA is currently going through a strike, and really there's nothing I can do because any project that I get right now is e-learning presentations. They're not in Hollywood. That's completely separate, but it is something that I support, because anyone who has any creativity, any kind of thing, either whether you are an actual a visual artist, like a painter, or, digital art, obviously, or a writer or a musician, this is an issue for everybody. And even as a business professional, think about it, writing, data entry or something. Well, they can set up an automated process and you don't have a job anymore, right? Middle management really doesn't need to be a thing. It's telling other people how to do their job, it hurts people a lot. And there are already so many layoffs in, the gaming and the film industry, even actually other technology like Zoom let go a lot of people. It's happening all over. And what's going to be left? I guess the manual labor stuff, but that's not what you went to college for. You know what I mean? It's really maddening that, the people that this doesn't directly involve are either conspiring against those that it is directly involved because it's going to help their bottom line, or they think it's a joke because it has nothing to do with them. So all they see are the fun, TikTok videos of using people's voices. And, oh, great. Well, now they can make, a TV series because, Johnny Depp would be too expensive. But now they can make a Captain Jack Sparrow can be, a regular going TV series. I don't know. Come up with anything you can, We need to support each other. I just think it needs to come down to that. People like to buy local to help their farmers, right? So it's the same kind of theory. The service or the product might be different, but anytime you cut out somebody or, that's somebody's livelihood so that it can streamline for you, it's really shitty. It's a really shit thing to do, and we should not at all support it. So, I hope that I helped explain it a little bit more. I don't know that I necessarily did. Already, anime, video games, a lot of these things do not have royalties anyway. So while, yes, cartoons and movies and stuff are a little bit different, but most of the time when you hear a voiceover artist, they got paid for that time in the studio, and that's pretty much it. And we already have to fight tooth and nail to get paid what we deserve for just that. And this isn't even saying, oh, well, then also give me royalties, right? I mean, half of this, it's ridiculous. It's why? Like, I don't know. And then like that, well, why do these directors and stuff get to be paid millions of dollars? What are they doing? Why aren't they being paid McDonald's wages? Because, I mean, anyone can do that, right? You just sit in a chair and say action, right? I mean, you just throw a bunch of money at people and they crawl all over it and you end up with a movie. Yay, right? Like, I mean, you can really narrow down and simplify any job out there. And do it in the comments down below. Find someone that you hate your boss. Explain what they do for the amount that they get paid in the comments below and show that, it's why don't we pay people what they're worth? And why are we always trying to shortchange people? And the greed and just the absolute desire for control is rampant in every industry. It's not even this either. Like that, the work from home. Yes, your job is 100% a computer job. So as long as you have internet access, you can do your job from home. But no, we want to control you. So you have to sit in this cubicle so we can watch you work. If the work's getting done, then clearly I'm working. You know what I mean? And again, that pretty much can be everything. There are some service jobs like, no, the hairstylist can't work from home. Oh, technically they can work from home, but you still need to see the people, right? Like, then you just have to set up your house as a studio, whatever. There are some exceptions, right? The hospital, yeah, we need medical professionals in their hospital, in the hospitals, sure. The rest, it's just ridiculous. It really is. So I've rambled on, and I apologize, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there because this is just going to be a bigger issue. And like one of those articles said, it's just going to kill, people like me where their careers are, just starting out. And it could even affect, people like Tara Strong. And what is going to happen are, one of two things. Well, okay, I guess there's three things. One thing, the strike works, or even before that, they agree, hey, yeah, let's not do this, right? And it doesn't become a thing, and we can all laugh about this later, right? So that's one point. The other point is the contracts come out, and people like, Steve Blum and Tara Strong, all those people do not sign. So potentially they go to lower people like me, the unknowns, who are desperate and will sign it to get, that on their resume. And then they completely kill those careers. They're just gone, right? Because now you don't have to work for that anymore. Now that company has your voice in perpetuity and they can use it for anything else. So you did, Billy's voice in this one cartoon. Well, now they can use you for Bob Joe over there in that cartoon. So congratulations, you just sold your voice for $20. Or the third one is that, okay, fine, the big name stars, maybe they can sign something so they can retire off of the money. So they're like, fine, buy my voice for $10 million, whatever. Now they have a great roster of voices that never age, people that, never get sick because it's a computer. And voice acting is a thing of the past because now they don't need more or new voice actors and stuff, because I'm sure you could take someone's voice and then be like, oh, let's pitch it up a notch. Let's push this button, give it a Southern accent. And now you don't need that second person. You just modified the voice that you already have. And now the whole profession of voice acting is obsolete, right? I mean, yeah, either they signed it or someone is going to sign it or things are not going to be done. And so I think we all need to take a stand against AI in every profession and make sure that things that are being done is to help others, because people try to say, oh, well, no, this is actually going to help, other professions and stuff. And I have yet to really see any argument that is legitimate of how it can actually help. Everyone always says, high level, like, no, it'll help streamline the process. How does ChatGPT help me as a voice actress, right? How does writing a script help me when I need the client who wrote that script? So if I write the script through either myself or an AI, well, that's great, but who's funding that project? I don't see how that helps me. I know it's really for like marketing. So it's supposed to help with, just really, social media posts and stuff like that. But again, before I became full-time voice actress, I was a marketing manager. So you're taking away that job too. Thanks. Is this like a personal attack on me? Like, is someone just following me and being like, oh, well, now we got to work on this next. Oh, she likes sewing. So now we got to, I just like, it's insane to me. It really is insane. And I want to see what this is in 2 years, 5 years? At what point is this going to be through the transitional phase and that's our new norm? Like, I don't know. And I don't know that I'll be here for that. That sounds really depressing. Not that I'm going to be dead, but I don't know. If things like this continue to happen, I've lost clients already because of this AI nonsense. Then no, I'm not going to be a voice actor. And that is a very real reality that I am facing right now. And that was even before all this AI stuff happened. So, now not only are we competing against everyone with a microphone, but now we're competing against computers. Yay! I don't know. Maybe I do need to take up baking and just wait for the world to end, I guess. So anyway, on that super happy note, remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and whatever you are struggling with today, even if it is fighting against the machines, it will pass. Until next time, stay crazy.